I realised they love this song called 500 Miles. Have you heard it before?
Probably, is it a Scottish song? Do we know?
500 miles.
Sounds Scottish.
Wow. And they call me Mook Joshua.
Welcome to Take the Crown. Today I am joined by Anthony Joshua. AJ.
How are you?
Thanks for joining us. I'm good, how are you?
Good to be back.
Right, you don't know what you're doing yet. I do. We are gonna build a story of your career. From the very beginning, I'm gonna ask you a question. You write the answer on this.
Okay.
And you stick it here.
Okay, yeah. All right, sweet.
So, the first question is,
Yeah.
who takes the crown as the first person you stepped into the ring with?
Wow. Who takes the crown as the first person I stepped into the ring with?
You don't remember your first amateur bout, the name?
No, but I remember the feeling.
All right, what about a spar? The first spar, everyone remembers their first spar.
First spar.
All right, we're gonna make up a name. We're gonna have to make up a name. What,
Was it
do you remember
Emmanuel?
what it looked like?
Was it Emmanuel?
You tell me.
That's what I think. I think it was Emmanuel.
We're gonna go with Emmanuel. Was that a spar or was that?
No, that was a fight.
That was a fight.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Okay, cool.
All right, so the first person you stepped into the ring with, Emmanuel.
Yes.
What can you tell us about Emmanuel?
It was in Archway.
Yeah.
At a pub called the Boston Arms. So they just rented up like not the basement, but like the hall on top.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like what you see in like a film. It was just dark, dingy.
Yeah.
We're just a bunch of lads from like Finchley, Watford area coming together, and I'm fighting on this show with other guys that are probably from East London, West London. And when I knocked him out, like I officially became a boxer that day, because me and my cousin Benga were like, we're not gonna say we're boxers until we've actually had a fight. Because there's people in the gym that were training that had all the gear.
Yeah.
They had no idea. They had a bit, but not, yeah, they had no idea in the sense of, oh, because I'm training, like when we used to go out, I'd be like, yeah, I'm a boxer, innit? I'm a boxer still. What'd you do, bro? Football, And it was like, you haven't even had a fight yet. So that day, when I beat Emmanuel, I officially said, I'm a boxer.
Who takes the crown as the first person to let you know you had something?
Well, I had some talent.
Had some talent. It could be a coach.
They still make me feel like I ain't got nothing.
No, that's what they're supposed to do.
I could bring
guess.
some of my team now and they'll tell you, like they're onto me still, so.
The first person who made you realize you could go far in this sport.
Can I say two people?
Go for it.
Yeah, are you sure?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll say Sean Murphy, who's one of the first people I went to see when I got back from my last fight. He's my amateur coach. He helped me out when I was like 18 and kept me on the straight and narrow. And the other guy is John Oliver, who's a lot older, so he doesn't come to the gym anymore. He stays at home, but I spend time with him, and he's someone that like said, listen son, got some talent in you. I can see, right? I've been in this game for about 55 years.
Yeah.
And I ain't seen anyone like you.
The old school.
Yeah, old school, bro. And
That's what you need. That's what you need. That one goes there.
He kept me on the straight and narrow, and I didn't know what boxing was about, but he knew, and he made me see something in myself that I didn't see at the time.
Who takes the crown as the first person who hit you with something to remember?
Probably Benga, my cousin. He was, I was super heavyweight.
Yeah.
So he was 91 kg.
Yeah.
And anything above 91 kg is super heavyweight. So me and him used to spar a lot in the gym. He's another heavyweight, and he's strong as an ox. He's got like that bulldog physique. I'm quite tall and lanky. He's more like stocky. And I just remember we used to spar a lot, but his power was phenomenal.
Hear it.
Benga hit me with some power shots.
I remember, do you know what? You probably only ever fought on the same card once.
Yeah,
At York Hall.
Yeah.
I was there.
No,
I was
twice.
Oh, okay.
No, I think it was once. Yeah, I think you're right.
I think it was once.
Yeah.
I remember I was there. I was at you was at Prize Fight. Was it Prize Fight?
I can't remember, but I know it was early on. He only had 2 free fights.
Yep.
Then he had a detached retina.
Yep.
His eye went, so he had to retire. But yes, we fought on the same card, and it was nice because we wanted to create that like brotherly fighting like empire together.
Yep.
You know. But yeah, long live Benga.
Who takes the crown as the person who made you realize the professional game was another level?
Okay, let me write this one down. It was Vladimir Klitschko.
Okay.
So I'm gonna just put Vlad.
We'll get the spelling wrong if we try and spell Klitschko on here, probably.
Let's try.
L-I-T-C-H-K-O. I know there's an S in there somewhere. I reckon it's after the... Can we get confirmation? I think that looks right.
Yeah, I think that looks right. I think that looks good.
Vladimir Klitschko.
Yeah, because remember when I fought Klitschko, it was so early on. Like I watch a lot of documentaries. So let's say Tyson, who's like an all-time great, he fought for his first world title on his 26th fight. So he had 26 fights, and then he fought for his first world title.
Yeah.
So this was my 19th fight, and we're unifying the heavyweight division, like, and it was early on. So I didn't have much experience. So I've only had 27 fights now. So the time Mike Tyson fought for his heavyweight,
he was here. He was where you were.
He was at where, yeah. So like the amount of experience I've gained over the last few years would have been better for me to fight someone of that experience. But I took him on early on in my career, and I'd been knocking everyone out at that stage. Yeah. So like I'm like, yeah, he's gonna get that same type of work. But Klitschko was a different beast in that sense. Yeah.
Of course.
So even though I dropped him in the 5th, I learned that he's not like the rest. He got up, and he's a former champion. He had been fighting championship level fights way before me. He had like 60 fights. So I didn't expect, or I'd never seen anyone of his caliber before in the ring.
Of course.
So for me, that was a guy who made me realize that there's a whole other side to the professional game that I've got to get used to. And if I want to stay at the top, I have to up my game.
Who takes the crown as the first person you sparred who let you know you were ready for the elite?
I can't actually say a name. If you want me to fish a name, I'm gonna have to dig deep.
I'm gonna need you to fish one. Just think, I mean, you would have sparred the biggest names.
Yeah, I sparred so many people.
It could potentially be the same answer as the one you've given just before.
Yeah, I went to spar Vladimir Klitschko in 2014, but why I wouldn't say him, because I started boxing November, like towards the end of 2008, right? And then the gym closes for Christmas. So 2009 was my first year, like full year in boxing. So 2009, 10, 11, then I was at the Olympics. So it was so quick. I was sparring good fighters, like from
the beginning,
second year. So this was like
too far on.
This is too far on for me. We're talking about, let's go back here, around here. This is where I spar good fighters. So I would probably say David Price. So it kind of like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Together.
It makes perfect sense. Just write David Price on there.
David Price.
I don't think he gets enough credit.
At work, I'm sure you get it, you're like, doing everything, like no one gives me credit. It's how it goes, right?
I don't want the credit, man.
That's what I'm saying. You can't search for credit, I don't think.
Who takes the crown as the first person to get you excited for a fight?
Get me excited for a fight?
Are there some fights that you have to get up for more than others? And do you remember the first one you were just like, all right, this isn't a journeyman, this isn't a, this
Kevin Johnson. Kevin Johnson probably, because Kevin Johnson, he was never knocked out before, right? He had never been knocked out. So it was at that stage where they're like, what are you feeding them bums for? He's knocking everyone out. Get him someone who's like, gonna give him some rounds.
Yeah.
And it's important for a young fighter around this stage, as they're moving on to these Vladimir Klitschko's of the world. Like, this gives them the confidence that they need. This is the experience where they're starting to go like, 7 rounds, 8 rounds before they get to like 12 round competitive fights. So I needed someone like Kevin Johnson. Kevin Johnson was an American. I'm not saying Americans are all the same, but he was quite brash and flash and confident in himself. He had never been knocked out before. So he understood his way around the ring. So me and him were in the same training camp in 2014, training with Vladimir Klitschko, and me and Kevin Johnson fought in 2015.
Did you spar in that camp?
No, we didn't, but he would watch and I would watch him, and yeah, like there was always that, like Dylan was in that training camp, Malik Scott, who's Deontay Wilder's trainer, was in it, so we were like all heavyweights, but we all kind of like didn't really show each other too much. So yeah, Kevin Johnson was experienced, and then he's saying in press conferences, I know how to beat AJ. What do they call? What's the Tin Man that's got no heart? Is it the Tin Man?
That is the Tin Man, no? That is the Tin Man. Is he called the Tin Man?
Yeah, where like you got no heart and all of this, and I got the antidote. He said he's written a book that he's releasing on Amazon or somewhere the day of the fight, because he knows how to beat me, and he's gonna. It all reveals in this book. Get your pre-orders now. At the press conference, I was thinking, damn, this guy knows something that I don't. So anyway, I was excited to fight this guy, and I knocked him out in the second round.
Went through the ropes or something like that. I remember him.
So it was a good fight though, but respect to Kevin Johnson, but he got me up for that fight, doubting me. So Kevin J. Sorry to drag on.
This is good. This is good. It's what we
Reflecting
want.
on my career, innit?
Who takes the crown as the fighter from the past that you would have loved to fight? Who would you have loved to test your skills against?
Obviously like Muhammad Ali,
Yeah.
number one. Yeah, Muhammad Ali, number one. He's an all-time great. He's the GOAT. He's the GOAT before there even was GOATs. Mr. Muhammad Ali.
It's a weird one, isn't it? Because you always have to, you want to respect.
It's a respect
the
thing, what I
past.
didn't want to say,
Yeah.
but at the same time, as a competitor, you want to face the best. That's what I always believed coming into boxing. I felt like people before our generation were in this mindset of cherry picking. Choose who you want to fight. But I always felt like British boxers never used to get like the respect from the world. It was all about American boxers. So I believe it's important to want to compete with the best. And if I had to choose who I could box from the past, it would be the best, and that's Muhammad Ali.
Who takes the crown as the person from outside the ring who has inspired you the most?
Outside the ring, that's inspired me the most.
Not a boxer.
Inspired me the most. The list of hustlers. I love hustlers.
Give me one.
Give you one hustler. That's inspired me a lot.
And it doesn't even have to be like a good inspiration, but you know, like, just things that drive you. Someone that gave you drive.
I like Frank Lucas. In this day and age, everybody's trying to be Tony Montana. I'm still trying to be like Frank Lucas. I'm trying to bring my family through. I'm trying to create an empire for the family, build businesses.
With legitimate means.
And the thing that I learned from him is it's about how you start, but what's more important is how you finish. And I think that he didn't finish properly. And a lot of stories in boxing, a lot of athletes, they have so much success in the ring, but how they finish is always a tragedy.
Of course.
Especially with these guys as well. So I've always tried to learn how to make my ending better. That's why I've always tried to have my business head on also while I was competing as an athlete.
The next question is, who takes the crown as the person inside the ring who's giving you the most inspiration?
Boxing coach or boxer?
Let's go boxer.
Mike Tyson.
Yeah?
Yeah. Mike Tyson was from Brooklyn,
Yeah.
the Bronx or something like that.
Yeah, the Bronx.
Yeah. And at the age of 13, he had probably been arrested how many times?
Lots.
He then met the right people, had the right influences, and managed to change his whole life. So I found it really inspirational that like you can change your life just if you apply yourself and you have the right mindset. So he talks about like how to deal with fear, anxiety, confidence, and he understands like the mind. Like you're always at war with your mind. We're so self-conscious sometimes that we downplay ourselves, but we have to be confident and have to really give ourselves praise because no one else will. So I like Mike Tyson's mindset as well.
Definitely proof that no matter where you are, where you come from, you can turn it around. Who takes the crown as the artist whose music has been with you for the majority of your career?
The Locks. But Jada Kiss, Styles P, Sheet Luch.
Yeah, let's just put the Locks.
The Locks, yeah?
It's weird because you kind of got to pick one. If it's not the Locks, then it's got to be the other side, but
Dipset.
it has to be Dipset. But yeah.
My mindset was more like stay low key, like black tracksuit, like just stay on job, like don't lose sight of what's important, don't get caught up in the flash stuff. So I like the Locks because they were like more hard working and kept underground.
Who takes the crown as the crowd you've most enjoyed fighting in front of?
Scotland.
Scotland?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
Glasgow or Edinburgh?
It was Glasgow, I think. It was early on in my career though. I fought Birmingham, Liverpool, Manchester, Glasgow. I don't think I fought in Ireland as an amateur, but we just went around. We used to go around fighting in different places. And I think I'd been there once to do like a dinner show.
Yeah.
Before I went and fought there. So I realized they love this song called 500 Miles. Have you heard it before?
Probably, is it a Scottish song? Do we know?
Walk 500 miles.
Sounds Scottish.
Wow. And they call me Mook Joshua.
I like it.
Yeah, like they proper like warm to me, I warm to them, and I come out in that fight, I had a little bit of the tart and strip and that. Do you know what I'm saying?
You've fought in a lot of big fights, big arenas, huge nights.
Yeah, so
I don't think many people would have expected it to be Glasgow.
Yeah, so if you can, look up 500 miles. Big up everyone from Glasgow. And it talks about their journey, like how tough they are and stuff, and I liked it. So yeah, 500 miles, Glasgow was a really good crowd. How'd I put Glasgow?
Do you know what? You did it, and I thought to myself, I doubted myself. Can we get a confirmation? Is Glasgow, there's not an L after?
Glasgow, or is it Glasgow?
Who takes the crown as the person in your industry that you most admire? It's a huge industry.
It is actually.
Is there someone that you always look up to or look to for guidance, or
who I can reach out to, or just like someone I see from a distance?
Both, either.
Who I reach out to, I speak to Vladimir Klitschko a lot. Because if you look, he was someone I looked up to early on in my career, someone who I ended up boxing, and someone I still speak to now. So he's been like a massive influence in my career.
Yep.
So like there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes, but he's been a massive pivotal supporter in my career and helped shape a lot of my success. Even inviting me into his training camp at the time, it gave me an insight to how a top professional
100%.
operates. So how I was operating before this was below par. And when I went to his training camp, I saw how a top tier athlete operates, and it made me change my ways.
Everybody says that. As soon as you go into a camp with a world champion or someone at the top of boxing, you understand exactly what it takes.
Exactly. So he helped me with that.
Vladimir again.
Yeah, Vladimir again.
Well, what we have here is a pretty good picture of the significant people, places, moments in your career, starting from poor Emmanuel.
But he gave me that.
He gave you the spark.
Yeah, and that understanding I'm now a fighter.
Has anyone ever like reached out to you from these days?
Yeah.
And like, to be like, oh yeah, by the way, it's me, you beat me up in Finchley like 20 years ago.
I see people because we're still local, I still go Finchley. I was there yesterday, so like coaches and stuff like that, yeah. We still say when I was with Sean yesterday.
Benga every day.
Benga every day.
Vlad.
Speaking to Vlad the other day, 2-3 days ago. Haven't spoke to him, but he's still like UK.
Kevin Johnson, the first introduction to a hostile opponent.
Very hostile opponent.
Ali, the fantasy fight, inspiration to everyone. The Locks, I'm sure didn't you come out to Jada, even the other, yeah, I know. Glasgow 500 miles and Vladimir Klitschko. So it paints a big enough picture of your career so far, because it's not finished yet.
No, it's not. We've got a few more to add on.
AJ, it's been a pleasure always. This is Take the Crown, I'll take the pen. Stay locked to JD.